and welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are all having a great day. I'm super excited. It is finally November. All of the Halloween stuff is put away and I have Christmas on my mind. I cannot get into the Christmas mood before Halloween, but once I get all that stuff put away, then I'm just ready. So I thought it would be super fun to go through my previous Christmas DIYs and pick out some of my favorites and put them all together in a video for you guys. I did do a little shopping the other day and I picked up some things and I have some ideas for some new DIYs and I'm super excited. But I thought it would just be fun to go through some of my old ones and just show you guys my favorites. So if you guys are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you are ready for Christmas DIYs. Hopefully next week we will get into some brand new Christmas DIYs. So all right, let's get into it. All right, for this first one, we are going to make a super easy little Let It Snow sign, and you can take any old sign you have from Dollar Tree. This one was the Beware sign, and I had also made it into a fall sign on the other side. And we're just going to take this wrapping paper that I picked up from Walmart last year, and it looks like wood. And you can also use that contact paper from Dollar Tree as well. But I'm just going to cover this sign up with this wrapping paper. And then we are going to do some stencils, and that is it for this one. It is so super easy, and I just love how this one turned out. These little stencils are also from Dollar Tree. I found them last year and I'm just going to do the Let It Snow, and the Let It is going to be normal and then the snow I'm going to stack the letters, and then the other little green stencil I had has some snowflakes on it and we're going to go ahead and do some snowflakes as well, and then to finish it off I'm just going to add a little bit of Mod Podge and then some silver glitter. All right, for this next one, we're going to do a no-sew table runner. I picked up 2 yards of this fabric from Hobby Lobby. I just thought this was really cute. I actually used this after Christmas, like in January, February. And what I'm going to do is just fold it in half and then iron it so it has a nice crisp little line so that I can cut it down the middle. And then what I'm going to do is take it and line it up actually so that the deer are lined up perfectly, and I thought that they were going to be able to line up a little easier, but I ended up having to cut off like 1.5 inches on each side. So once you get it all lined up, you're going to have to cut off the excess just so that it's even. And right now I'm ironing the end of it because we're going to do, I'm going to glue it instead of actually sewing it. So for the ends and then the sides, you're going to want to just iron it down. Usually I'll pin it and then iron it, and then I went back in and hot glued it. For this one, I'm actually taking an old little Christmas village that we had. You can absolutely buy some of the little ones from Dollar Tree and do this as well. But right now I'm just taking all the lights out and I'm getting all the little house pieces separate, and then I'm going to take them out back and spray paint them white, just using regular white spray paint, and just make sure that all of it is completely covered with the spray paint. And then I'm going to take this little spray adhesive from Dollar Tree and just spray it right on the tops of everything, and then sprinkle that with glitter so that it looks like snow. And this was so easy, and it just gives it such a fun little look, and it just matches my decor so much better than the original houses did, and I love this one. Next, I'm going to show you two options how to display your Christmas cards. So for this one, I'm taking a string of lights. You can't really see them. They're just some lights from IKEA. And I'm taking this little burlap ribbon and cutting it in half. And I'm going to make little bows. And you're going to kind of want to glue the bows together so that they don't come apart. And then I'm gluing these little red buttons right in the center of the bows. And then you're just going to attach these right to the lights. And that is it. You're just going to kind of space them out however you want them, and then string these up with the lights, and then you can attach. These lights actually came with hooks, so I just hook the little cards right to there, but you could add some little clothespins if you don't have the hooks, but I think this one looks super cute. And for this other one, I'm just taking some foam board and I'm cutting it into a large triangle. This is going to be like a Christmas tree. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the triangle out of the foam board, and then you're going to want to save a little piece for the bottom to be like the little tree trunk. And then you're going to cut that part out as well, and set that aside. We'll come back and paint that. And then next, I'm going to be taking these little placemats from Dollar Tree, and there's two layers to them. So I'm going to go ahead and separate them and just use the top layer, like the shiny part. And you're just going to go ahead and take these placemats and cover the foam board. So you're going to kind of make it just look like a Christmas tree. I did one layer at the bottom, and then when I flip this over, you'll see that you kind of make it look like the little layers of the tree, and just hot glue the placemat to the foam board. Now I'm taking this little tree topper, little star from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue that to the very top. That'll be the top of this little tree. And then now I'm just taking some twine and wrapping it around, and this is what you're going to actually hang your cards off of. So just kind of wrap it diagonally or however you want to wrap it around, and make sure you glue it in some places so that the cards don't get too heavy for it. And then once you get all that twine glued on there, you can attach the little, I'm using the small little clothespins from Dollar Tree. But first I'm going to go back in and paint the little tree trunk. I'm just using this brown Waverly paint that I have, and my sponge is a little bit wet, so you're just going to kind of do a couple layers of that on here, and then you're going to go ahead and glue that to the Christmas tree part. And now you can go in with those little clothespins and just hook them wherever you would like them to be. And I just love this one. And I did reinforce it in the center there when it got towards the bottom because I didn't want it to hang down too far. So I just love how this one looks. Super easy, and I think it just looks really cute. Right now we're going to make a little mesh Christmas wreath. This is the first wreath that we're going to make. There is going to be another one too. So you're going to need about 5 to 6 of these little mesh packages from Dollar Tree, depending on what colors you want. And then I picked up these cute little mini bows to stick on there. And then you are going to need a little, whatever you want to put in the center. We wanted to use this little red truck. This is actually a wreath for my mom. And then some pipe cleaners. And then it's totally up to you if you want to put lights in it, but we wanted to put lights in it. And obviously you're going to need the little wire wreath. These lights we picked up from Walmart. They were a little expensive, but they have a timer on them, so they're really nice. So the first thing you're going to do, I'm using this little template, it's just like a cardboard template. It makes it really easy to cut the mesh because this stuff's kind of hard to work with. So it's about 6 to 8 inches, I believe. So you're just going to want to make a bunch of these little pieces just so that you'll have them ready when you start like folding them and putting them together. So what I did, I just rolled about 5 or 6 of these and then put them in a bundle and tied them together with the pipe cleaners. And then we're going to go ahead and attach those to the wreath part later. Yeah, Tater Tot was all up in my business on this one. He loved this mesh stuff. So once you have all of your little bundles finished, I found that it's easier just to have them already ready. And then you're going to go ahead and just attach them to the wreath. So you're going to kind of just stick them in the little slots, and you can reinforce them a little bit if you want with the pipe cleaner, but I don't think these things are going anywhere. So I was able to fit about 4 bundles in each little part. And then once you are finished with all of the mesh, then you can start adding your little decorative pieces. So we just went ahead and glued the little red truck on there, and then you're going to go ahead and take the lights and just kind of string them in between. You can glue them like every once in a while so that they won't move around. And then the battery pack will just kind of sit in the back behind the red truck, like when you hang it. And you can also glue the battery pack if you want to, but it's not going to go anywhere. And then once you get all of the lights in there, we went ahead and added the little bows, and that's it for this one. I think it turned out super cute, and it was really easy to make. Now this is probably my favorite. I made it a couple years ago. It was so easy. I'm just using this Christmas bag from Dollar Tree. I'm cutting it out to the size 11-14 because that's the size frame I have. So you're just going to want to cut it so that it will fit inside the frame. And then I'm taking these little lights from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to glue them on the little bag. And I found it's easier just go ahead and glue them on before you put it into the frame. So once you get those lights where you want them, you can put this back into the frame and make sure the little battery pack is in the back. And then I went ahead and glued the battery pack right on the back part, and that is it for this one. It costs like $2 to make, and it is one of my favorites. I love it. All right, this next one, you're going to use some picture frames as well. So just take 2 different picture frames. We're going to make a little shadow box. So you're going to want to put the glass in just the top frame, and then you're going to want to glue them together. And then I'm taking this little gift box from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut out the size that I need. I think that's an 8x10 frame. So I'm just kind of tracing the cardboard on the little box. So you're going to cut that out, and then that is going to go in the back part. But first I'm going to glue that to the back cardboard of the frame. And then we are going to add some of this little super messy decorative little snow. This is all stuff from Dollar Tree, so this one's super inexpensive. And the little deer is a little ornament pack that came with like 6, I want to say, and I just went ahead and glued that right on there. So with the little decorative snow, you're going to pour this into the frame part, like this little shadow box. And the first time I added some, and it just wasn't enough snow, so I went ahead and added a little bit more. And then you're just going to put the backing in, and I did end up gluing it down because some of the balls were able to escape out the back, and it became a little bit messy, but I went ahead and glued it all, like the edges all together, and it's been fine ever since. And I think this one's so cute. You can move it around, and the snow moves. My kids absolutely love this one. Next, we're going to do a little Christmas lantern. So these frames are actually from Dollar Tree. I had already made the lantern for fall. So you just take the little frames and glue them together. And then I picked up these little LED candles from Dollar Tree as well. And I got this little blingy like ribbon, and I'm just cutting enough little strips so I can put it all the way around the lantern just to add a little bit of bling to it. And then for the candles, we are going to go in. If you guys can see, I kind of tried to do a pattern and I ended up not liking it. So I went back in and just took some different pink glitter and some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to go ahead and Mod Podge the entire candle and make them like completely pink and glittery, because my colors right now for Christmas are pink and gold. Here's the next wreath. These items are all from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to go ahead and start taking off the flowers, take them off of the actual bundles, and I was using pliers in this one, but go ahead and use wire cutters. It comes off super easy. So just I would leave about 2 inches on the flowers so that you can stick them into the wreath, and they're not too long, but you don't want them to be too short either. So once you get those all cut off, I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing them onto the wreath. And I'm not going to make the flowers go all the way around. I'm going to go about halfway around, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some cute little burlap red ribbon. And then after the ribbon is attached, I went ahead and added a little string that I could hang it from, and then I glued the little believe sign on there as well. All right, this next one is one of my favorites too. It just gives such a cute look to your kitchen. So I'm taking this red ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to wrap my cabinets up like presents. So this one just involves a lot of tape, and you're just going to kind of tape the long piece and then tape the other piece. Like I like to put it like a little below the center. And then for the bow, I was having a hard time making actual bows out of this ribbon. So I just went ahead and faked it. So I made 2 little loops, and then I glued the bottom parts to it as well. So this one you just have to, if you can make a good looking bow, then go for it, but mine I had to fake. All right, for this next one, I'm taking this little candle from Dollar Tree, and I've got this little decorative towel, and I'm going to cut a little strip in the towel, and this is going to be a little scarf because we're making a snowman. So at first it was a little too thick, so I went ahead and cut it. I want to say it's maybe about 1 inch. So once you get that cut, you're going to just wrap it around the little white candle, and I did end up gluing it down because I wanted it to lay properly, and you're just going to glue it so that it looks like a scarf. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take a Sharpie and draw some little eyes on him. And then I'm going to do the little buttons down his, like the front. And then I had a little orange Sharpie and I just drew a little carrot. And that is it for this one. I think this one's super cute and it's really easy to make. The kids could help you with this one, and I love it. And now for these, you're just gonna get some of these little pots from Dollar Tree. It came in a 3-pack for $1. And then the pine cones I'm using came, I wanna say it was a 3-pack for these as well for $1. And then they're the cinnamon ones, so they smell really good. So first I'm just gonna go ahead and spray paint the pots, and I didn't want them completely white. I kinda wanted them like this, so they just kinda looked a little distressed and like they'd been sitting outside for a while. So you're just going to take these pine cones out, and I'm going to spray them with my spray adhesive and sprinkle them with green glitter. And that's it for this one. I'm just going to go ahead and glue the little pine cones into the pots, and that's it. You could dress up the little pots with some ribbon or however you want, but I just kind of I wanted to keep them plain, and I think they look really cute and glittery. I love it. All right, this next one, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this is the video that has gotten the most views on my channel, and I just love this one. So you're going to need one of those little trays from Dollar Tree and the wood contact paper from Dollar Tree. And what I did was I took the contact paper and set it onto foam board and cut that out and then laid it into the little frame. And I didn't like how the sides were looking on the frame, so I went ahead and just wrapped the whole entire thing with twine to make it look kind of like a frame. And then I'm taking this Let It Snow sign from Dollar Tree, and I already took it outside and spray painted it gray. And then I'm using my platinum acrylic paint to galvanize it. And then I'm going to go ahead and take these little furniture pads and cut little pieces, and then we're going to glue those to the sign and then glue them to the foam board just to kind of give it a little dimension so that it's kind of sticking out and it's not just flat up against the foam board. Next, we're going to add some lights. So I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to cut a few holes. I think there were like 10 lights maybe. I can't remember. This light strand is from IKEA. You can totally use ones from Dollar Tree, but I just had these on hand, so I was just going to use these. So I'm just cutting little holes in the back of the tray, and then you're just going to kind of slip the little light bulbs into the holes. And then I went ahead and glued the battery pack onto the back just so it would stay in place. Next, I'm taking these little trees from Dollar Tree and I'm cutting off the bottom, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those onto the little frame part. And then I had these little presents that I had they were from my grandma's, so I glued those on as well. And these little stickers I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to kind of put these throughout the sign and just kind of space them, so that they look right. But I forgot to film myself doing that, so that is why I inserted a picture of what they look like. All right, this one is probably one of my favorites. I made a little Christmas village out of poster board. So what I'm doing right now is I made a little template for the little houses. They do not have to be perfect by any means. I think mine are very uneven and kind of lopsided, but I think it makes them a little whimsical, and I actually really like them. So I'm making 3 separate houses. One's red, one white, and one green. So right now I'm just kind of cutting out the sides of them. And what I found was easiest for the sides, once you get them cut out, you're going to kind of fold over flaps on the edges so that you can glue them together. So if you guys have any questions on this, I have a whole video. I will link that down below. It goes more into detail on how I did it. But right now I'm just these are the fronts of all the houses, and I'm just drawing little doors and cute little windows. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut those out so that they're going to be completely open. And then right now I'm going to paint them. This red color I didn't love, and I ended up adding a little bit of black to it just so that it was a little too like cherry red, and I wanted it to be a little bit darker. So once you get all the houses painted, I did, like I said, the red, white, and green. Now I'm gluing them together. So if you guys can see how I did those little tabs on the side, it's just going to make them go together a lot easier. And I forgot to add it on this one, but I ended up having to stick it up in there. But I put some tissue paper on the front of the houses so that the lights, you wouldn't be able to see the lights inside of there, because I'm just using little light bulb, the strand lights from Dollar Tree. So I'm just gluing all of my little houses together. And now I'm going to use this little gather sign. This is going to be the base of the whole little village. So I'm just taking that wood contact paper and I'm going to cover this little gather sign with the contact paper. And then I am going to go ahead and paint over it with my brown paint just to make it a little darker. I feel like it makes the wood look a little more realistic when it's a little bit darker. And I'm just gluing it all on the little sign so that it stays in place. Now I'm taking some of my white paint and I'm writing "All is calm" on here. If you have a Cricut, you are more than welcome to do it more professional, but I'm just doing it freehand, and it's not perfect by any means, but I think it turns out really, really cute. So once that is all dry, you're going to start gluing your houses down to the base. And in the back, it is going to hang off a little bit, but that's okay because we're actually going to cut some little slits in the very back, which we're going to put the lights into. So I went ahead and glued the houses on, and then I added those two little trees as well. And then if you guys can see where I cut the little slits, you're just going to add the lights, and this little string of lights I got from Dollar Tree, and I like how it's short because you don't need a whole lot of lights for these. So I just kind of stuffed them up in there and then glued them to the back, and then made sure that, you know, I put it somewhere where there's an outlet pretty close by. Now I'm taking this faux snow. This is from Hobby Lobby, but I have seen Dollar Tree has it this year. I actually picked some up the other day. So I'm just taking some Mod Podge and painting it on top of the house and on top of the little base. And this is going to be like fake snow. And I just love how this one turned out. It's super whimsical, and I don't know. This is probably one of my favorite ones I've ever done. All right, you guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these favorite Christmas DIYs of mine. Let me know down in the comments below which one was your favorite, and let me know what kind of Christmas DIYs you guys want to see, and we will see you all next time. Bye.